Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? So this video is going to be indie makeup releases, which if you're not already familiar with my channel, this is my weekly series where I just talk about the new indie makeup releases and whether I'm considering to purchase them. I also include mainstream brands at the end. This week is actually more 50-50 just because I don't have that much to want to talk about. I only want to talk about things that truly grab my attention, and I feel like the releases have been a little bit slower this week. Thank you, Jesus. So hopefully this video isn't forever long, but I'm pretty chill. This is my idea of a fun Friday night, just filming some indie makeup releases. I've got my little strawberry, oh gosh, I'm trying to show you the cup, strawberry daiquiri mom juice. So I feel happy to be filming. So this video series is inspired by Angelica Nikis and Samantha March, so I always have their channels linked down below, as well as all the Instagram accounts that I use for pictures and information. What is that sound? Okay. It's gone. I bet that ruined my entire intro, but I'm just gonna keep going because I'm a hot mess. Alright, so the very first release I want to talk about is from Luxy Beauty, and this is their new hybrid shadow collection. I think that at this point it might be sold out. I cannot remember exactly, but I will link it down below and leave all the information. So this is $50 and it has 9 shadows, and it looks like it is a mixture between their opalescent pressed pigments and regular eyeshadows, which I think is very interesting. I am definitely curious about these. I did not buy them because, you know, low buy life, but I do think that they look really, really pretty. It comes in a little palette. I think part of the reason why I wasn't interested in these as much is because it says that they are limited edition, and I just, especially single shadows, I do not want to buy limited edition single shadows. I want my single shadows to be permanent. So hopefully if these have good reviews, she will decide to bring them back. But they look really nice. They look promising. They look like a nice little mixture. I'm curious to see if the sparkle, glitter, pigment, whatever is all the way through the shadow or if it's just an overlay. So definitely something I would keep my eyes open for reviews for. Definitely caught my attention a little bit. Next is a new palette, and this is from the Crayon Case Cosmetics, and this is the matte book, like matte book. I think that's really cute. I like the pun. As far as the colors go, I do like the palette. It is your typical standard rainbow palette. I definitely don't need it, but there are some interesting tones in here. I like the really, really deep purple shade. The really light blue is very pretty, so I think this looks nice, but to be quite honest, I'm very hesitant to buy from the Crayon Case after the whole thing with Jen Love's reviews and the ingredients list being a little sketchy. So I don't think, well, number one, I don't need it. But number two, I just don't think I could buy from a brand where I'm not 100% sure on the ingredients. So I don't know. I do give them props though. I think the packaging is super cute. I think the pun is super cute. And I like that it looks like graph paper, so overall it looks cute. If you would like to buy from them and you need a rainbow palette, it looks nice. Alright, so next is the Certify Affinity 2 palette, and I've already talked about this whenever they showed the Photoshop version, and I was so excited about this because I wanted a blue and green palette, and I told Certify about it, so this is like my little dream baby come true. And I think it is beautiful. I definitely wish I could rearrange the way these shadows are laid out. That's my favorite part about the original Affinity palette, is it's all, it just looks so cohesive, and this looks a little bit more scrambled, which is not my typical, it just doesn't appeal to my aesthetic as much. But I think that the shade selection is really beautiful, and I want to pick it up. I'm not sure when. I don't know. I'm not sure if they're going to do a pre-order, if they're going to wait for it to be available. If it's a pre-order, I think I'm going to wait until they have a sale, because I did that last time. The Affinity was on pre-order, and then 2 weeks later there was a 40% off sale or something, and the Affinity was still available. So I might wait to get it at a better price, but it's definitely something I plan on picking up, and I would use one of my palette purchases for the month to get this one because I think it is really beautiful. I am also very, very interested to compare this to the green shades in the Hasina 2 palette from Blush Tribe and in the other Certify palettes, because they do have quite a few greens already. And maybe I would just do like a swatch fest or something, because you guys are so curious about the repeating shades, and the different Certify palettes. So maybe I could just group them all together and do a video on all of them, because I have 4 right now, so this would be the 5th one. So that's definitely something I see making its way into my life. Next is the Tandy Makeup Sweet Tooth palette. Again, super cute packaging here, the little kitten in the cupcake. And this is an all matte palette. It makes sense because their previous palette was all shimmers, and I like all the names. They are all dessert names, except licorice. Black licorice is disgusting. I live for chocolate licorice though. Anyways, I think this is nice, and I think it kind of holds true to the whole like half colorful, half neutral thing that I think we're going to see a lot of this year. I do like the pops of color. I like that there's a bright blue, a bright purple. I think that you could do a neutral look, you could do a warm tone look, you could do a berry look. You could definitely play up the blue a little bit and do like maybe like the bottom row, like a blue and black smoky eye. So I think that, you know, for having 9 shades, I see a lot of possibilities. Is it 100% unique to my collection? Probably not, but I would be interested to try out the formula and everything like that, and the packaging is cute. All right. So next is a very, very interesting looking pigment. So this is from OhmyglitterOMG, and they are, I believe, based in the UK, if I remember. Yeah, I think that their prices are in pounds, because these are £8.99 each. So these look really, really beautiful and interesting and cool. I don't even understand how they work. I don't know, but they're pigments, but they have like this black and like this design through them. So aesthetically, I think they're really cool. I think you could take cool pictures of them. The swatches look really nice. And I think I saw someone talk about how MAC did a shadow like these, or something very, very similar. But these ones, I looked the MAC ones up, and the MACs were just like all straight bars, and it was all one color. And these are like different colors and different wavelengths, and they're pretty interesting. But what I have to say here is that no matter how cool these look in the jar, from the swatches, they just look like a typical eyeshadow, maybe cream eyeshadow, some type of pigment. They just look like, I'm not going to fall into the trap, is what I'm trying to say, is that these look beautiful, they look cool, they look unique, but when it comes to putting them on your eyelids, I don't think that they look unique in that way. It's mostly just packaging. So I appreciate this, but I don't think it's something I want to buy. Okay, so the next palette I want to talk about is one that I am really, really digging. I am so into this. This is the new Terra Moon Cosmetics Sweet Nothings palette, and this is based around Valentine's Day. So my most important question for this palette is whether it is going to be permanent or limited edition, because I just don't want to bring anything into my life that is limited edition at this moment in time. And these colors, like there's a beautiful highlighter, a blush, those look really nice. And then all of the eyeshadows are just stunning. Like, I love the mixture of the pastels and like the deep like cranberry shade. And there's a minty metallic shade, like, oh, and that really beautiful vibrant hot pink. So this just speaks to me on so many levels. I really, really like this. Not sure if I'm going to pick it up or not, but I definitely am into this palette. So like I said, it really depends on if it's going to be permanent, but I think it is very, very stunning. I love the color combination, and it makes me that much more excited to see what Terra Moon is going to do in the future. What was I trying to say? Well, I was trying to say in the future with different color combinations, but there was a certain word I was using that made me say futurol, but I can't remember what that word was. It just literally popped into my brain and then said bye. So my bad. Okay, next is a little sneak peek from Luxy Beauty, and I'm pretty excited about this. I was watching a Looxi live today, which I always think lives with brands are just so cool, especially when you get to see the person who runs the show and put a face to the brand. She seems like a really cool lady, and she showed one swatch of this matte shade here. I was super sneaky trying to get some screenshots, and I believe she's coming out with a bunch of new matte shades, all reformulated, even some old ones it seems, and They're supposed to be really, really bomb, so I'm excited about that. I love Luxy shadows. She also promised that she's going to keep the prices very, very fair. Even with liquid lipsticks, I think she said that she would not go above $8, which I think is a great price for a liquid lipstick. She also mentioned she's coming out with blushes, contours. There were other things. I think she said she was trying to work on the liquid eyeshadows, but there was a problem and she's trying to fix that. Do you hear my cat caterwauling right now? So I'm sure that she mentioned other things that she's coming out with, but my brain is blanking right now. But I'm definitely very excited to see what they are going to keep doing, and I want to make it a priority to film my Looxi single collection soon. So excited about that. All right. I think that is all the indie. Well, no, I guess I could here. We'll do this one next. So I think this is an indie brand. This is Real Her Makeup, and I am familiar with them because they have been in BoxyCharm before. I believe they have liquid lipsticks or something along those lines, and they came out with 2 palettes, and I was definitely drawn to the purple palette. I think it's really beautiful. There's like a light purple, a light pink, there's some browns, some different metallic purples, some different there's one metallic like taupey shade. So I think that this palette is really pretty, and I believe this was announced just a few days ago. And I was pretty excited about it because I was like, oh wow, like a monochromatic, almost monochromatic purple palette. Like, I'm here for this. The other palette here is just like, nah, like it's been done before. It actually reminds me so much of the Colored Rain Queen of Hearts palette. But regardless, speaking of purple palettes, then this one was announced, and this is the Viseart Liaison eyeshadow palette, and I think that this is really beautiful too. It looks more of like a earthy, grown up, like office appropriate version of a purple palette. There's still some like cool tones and like some taupes, but I think that this one looks really nice as well. Not something I could see myself picking up because I just don't need it, and I'm sure it's gonna be like $50 or something crazy. And I have purples that are more my style, but I thought, I was like, ooh, another purple palette. And then Colourpop released a purple palette, and this is It's My Pleasure, and this is really nice. I think it looks beautiful. There's different metallic purples. I think the really deep burgundy looks stunning. This definitely seems like it's up my alley, like it's something I would like. The problem is I just don't love the Colourpop eyeshadow formula. I just have to accept it. I have some that I like and some that I don't, and I feel like it's kind of hit and miss for me. I got the pink palette and I was so excited about it, and I used it a few times, and I just felt like the quality was not like, it just wasn't enough for me to keep reaching for it. Therefore, I barely ever use it now, and I feel like even though it was only $12, it was still a waste of $12. So I just don't know. I feel like I don't need it, but it is really, really beautiful. I love the colors in here. But I think what really held me back is with my low buy rules, only being able to get 2 palettes a month. I'm like, if I can only get 2, like, how do I explain this? Having a limit makes me think so much more about what I'm going to get, because it's like, if I get that, then that's already one of them, and what if something more beautiful comes out, something that I would like more? So I just feel like that's definitely helped me to stop unnecessary purchases, because sure, this is nice, sure, it's affordable, but I don't need it. I don't need it. It's beautiful, it is, but I don't need it. So alright, so the next product I want to talk about is definitely something that if I was not on a low buy, I would be buying. And I don't know if anyone's going to understand my extreme love for this particular product because most people are not on board for this brand. At least what I've gathered from everyone who is not a huge influencer, but girl. These are the new Kylie Cosmetics blushes, bronzers, and highlighters, and I love the Kylie Cosmetics blushes. I think that they are beautiful, and the reason I love them is because they're not super pigmented, so they work amazing for super fair skin. If you have like I would say like medium and upwards on like the level of deepness of your skin, that the blushes would definitely not show up. They would not work. They would be a total fail for you. But if you are super fair and you don't want to go overboard on your blush, which actually I did pretty much go overboard on my blush today, you would probably like Kylie Cosmetics blushes. I have them, like I keep them at the very front of my blush drawer because I reach for them all the time. They are some of my favorite all-time products, and now she's expanding, and like that really light peachy shade, ooh, that is so nice. I think that's the one I would be most drawn to get, and actually probably like the neutral, like warm one looks really nice as well. Any highlighters, like the lightest pinky shade just looks stunning. I do like her highlighter as well. It's not my favorite formula. I'm not sure how I feel about the bronzer colors. I think a lot of them look kind of similar, and I would like to see more of an even range of the bronzers, but I am not buying them because I'm on a low buy and it's against my rules. But that's definitely something that I'm like, I like you, I want you, but I'm not gonna have you. Last but not least, I just had to take a moment to talk about how ridiculous this is. This is the new Tarte Remix Natural eyeshadow palette, and I just want to take this opportunity to take back everything I've ever said about Tarte. Every time I begged for them to do something different, for them to, you know, think outside the box, because it's not working for them, okay? Maybe this is harsh, but they did the other eyeshadow palette and the colorful one, and everyone was like, oh my gosh, something different from Tarte. And it was almost all shimmers, like there were barely any mattes. And it didn't quite make sense, but I didn't really like, I was just like, okay, whatever, because it makes more sense for someone who is into Tarte. Like that might be a little stepping stone for you to add just a little bit of color into your collection. And if you have like a bunch of the Tarte matte palettes or whatever, like it would work for you. But I saw this and I was like, what the heck? Like, what the heck, Tarte? So this is a 8-pan palette, and it is colorful, sure, but every single shade is shimmers. Like, I just don't understand why this was necessary. Like, this isn't even relevant to any makeup style. Like, I think I heard someone say this is supposed to be like for a one like shade all over the lid kind of thing. That doesn't really make sense to me either, just given these shades. And it's like, you couldn't even put one matte shade in there. Like, who is this for? Like, I feel, especially like from what I've seen, people who aren't that into colors, when they like to incorporate colors, it's normally not just one shade all over their lid blended upwards. Like, that's just not a thing. I mean, it can be a thing, but it's not something you see often. I just don't understand what was going through Tarte's head when they were like, yeah, let's make an all shimmery, slightly colorful palette. Saying it, sis. That feels weird. I shouldn't say that. So that is everything for today's indie makeup releases. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Bye.